It's an honor to be here today for Coach Graham. I'm glad the table's off to the side, so that helps a lot. The impact on my life, I'm the head coach at Miami Palmetto, and I'm the head coach because of him. He told me this year or last year, when I graduated high school, I played football, I wrestled, that stuff, but I was a lot into the Miami life. If you don't know what that is, you can look it up. So he tells me that he shows up from work. He used to get up in the morning at 4 o'clock, come home at 2:30 to get ready to go to practice, and my mom is parked at his house. So she said, hey, I need you to talk to Anthony. I need you to help him get back where he needs to go. So I don't know if you could try to call me or whatever it was. Maybe I answered, maybe I didn't, but I didn't show up. So maybe the next day or the day after, he pulls up to his house, and my mom's about 4'11", little Trinidadian Lebanese firecracker, and she's standing at his door, he says. As he gets out his truck, she's ready to curse him out, like, I told you. He said, is he home? She said, yes. So me not knowing, he pulls up, he said, hey, get in the truck, let's go. And I start coaching with him at Palmetto Middle School. And I saw the expectations that he had for kids. There were kids that won county championships that should not have won. They were weak, they were not wrestlers. But he would tell them they were champions, and he would have this expectation, and they would reach it. And those kids would move on to the high school. And that first day it bit me, and I wanted to coach. So I started to follow him and do the things that I needed to do, and the Miami life left, and I just started coaching, and I've been coaching ever since. And so I follow how he coached. Most of what I do is off of him. I've been very fortunate in my coaching career to only be around Hall of Fame coaches. God has been good. I coached with Kenny for years, and then what Kenny didn't tell you is when Mike was going to be done with wrestling, we were at regionals, and he was done. And I had folded a Southridge shirt, and we went to go see him, and he was like, and we were like, nah, here you go, you're coming with us. And we had that second run that Kenny talked about. A man of integrity. We've prayed together. He has helped me become the man that I've been. He's been through all this stuff when my mom passed, all these different things. He's been there. And he's constantly doing that for every kid. He's been coaching for 40 plus years. When you see him tonight, or if you walk around, you're gonna be like, you're lying, right? Because he looks like he's still 40, right? I'm a part of his family. His family is amazing. But I just want to finish with his legacy, because I think people need to understand, like Coach Johnson said, he's always been in the background. 40 plus years of coaching, he's been in one district, District 16, Region 4, for 40 years. He's been at 3 schools. He was a third place and a state champ at Miami Palmetto, and then he coached from 1984 to 1997 at Miami Palmetto. A state championship, 2 runner-ups, and then teams of state champions. We won't even talk about second place and state placers. He then goes to Southridge, because his son goes to Southridge, 2 undefeated state championships and a runner-up, and I think a national championship with multiple state champions again. He goes to Coral Reef because his daughter's going to Coral Reef. His son graduates. Daughter's like, hey, you got to come support me. So he goes and he takes a team that was, coach was being very generous. They were in last place, and they were 5th in the region, I think, within 2 years with the state qualifiers. And then he came to Southridge, where we took 2nd, state champs. Coach Johnson was supposed to retire. So I didn't want to coach against them, because it was just something that I felt I needed to do respect-wise. So I turned down the Miami Palmetto job 3 times. I didn't want to do it because I know they were still there. I get a call. Finally, I call Coach Graham, and I say, hey, is Coach Johnson retiring? I think he calls Coach Johnson. Coach Johnson says yes. I said, well, look, I got offered this job. I'm not going to take it unless you come. Those are the only 2 guys that I will ever coach with in my life. He says, yes, I'll come. Coach Johnson did not retire, so we ended up having to compete against them. But in our first year, we were in last place again. We went to 5th, and we had a state runner-up. We took 6 kids to state, and then Miguel Dominguez, who's an alumni and he's the Coral Reef head coach, calls me like 2 weeks after, and he's like, hey, I want to submit Coach Graham's name to the Hall of Fame. And I was like, you don't think about it because he's Coach Graham. It's like what he does. He just pours into you. He builds people, and he's always there to support you. And it was like, yes, let's do it. And that was right before COVID. And if there's anybody who And all of you have your people who deserve to be in. He is always a Hall of Famer. And I always think about Remember the Titans at the end when the state championship goes and the guy's like, man, you did it, Herman. And then Herman Boone turns to me and he goes, you're a Hall of Famer in my book. You know, that kind of deal. He's always going to be a Hall of Famer. I love him, and I get to coach with him every day. So it's a great deal for me. So love you.